coach said that he was pleased with the way you guys competed, and there's a lot you can take away from this game. What is it that you learned from this one tonight?
Like he said, we competed. At the end of the day, to start the game, they played solid defense. They made tough shots. They're a good team. And that at the end of the day, we lost the game, I would say, on the boards. I think that was second chance points. I think that's what really hurt us. But if you look at the overall game, we played solid defense throughout. But they came out there and got the extra little boards and the rebounds, and we just got to do a better job of that. I had one, JC had one, we all had one. And I think that's something we can look at and say, okay, how do we fix these mistakes? And I think that's what I say whenever we win games. I say we're not trying to be this team in February. We're trying to be there in July. And I think this is a bump in the road and a good one, in my opinion. I think this is something we can look at and say, okay, we stayed with them, but this is what separated the game. And I think I'm proud of the way we played and competed, like you said. But there's definitely room for improvement in that area, and we got to go out there and do it.
David James, KTV.
Donovan, it looked like you had some issues offensively that you were solving as the game went along. Can you kind of speak to that? Some of the things you figured out as you put together some runs later you couldn't do early?
Yeah, I gotta give credit to Pat, man. Like, he's first team all defense for a reason. Made my life, hard to start the game. He kind of set the tone, and I think that was just, credit to him. I'm giving him credit for that. But for me, seeing that and finding ways to just play through it, not necessarily putting the ball in the rim, but kind of finding guys, using myself as a decoy in certain instances to get guys open shots, and I think letting the game come to me naturally was tough, when I had those 2 fouls. But then when you get to the second half and, you're not worried so much about getting that third one and getting that fourth one early. Now you're starting to be aggressive. I'm starting to be aggressive and continuing to get into the lane and attack. And, but, as far as the struggles, the early struggles, I give Pat his credit, man. He's a hell of a defender. They all did a good job, but, as a group, I think it helped me, kind of get going when, guys are kind of tell me what they see, being able to share the ball, being able to bring the ball up, being able to score, doing all those different things. But, that's where it started.
And Anderson, KSLSports.com.
Don, how was it to have Mike back?
See the start of the game. Man, he's it's great to have Mike. Someone you come out there, can give you 7-9 like that. Then maybe it's 5 assists like that. Maybe it's 5 rebounds. Just having his presence out there is huge. On top of that, his defense. Obviously he was on a little bit of a restriction tonight, but that's we miss his presence for sure. We miss his game, his play. In my opinion, he should be an all-star. And I'm hoping he is. I'm praying he is, and he deserves it. But it's definitely good to have him back out there and competing. And as he plays more, we'll start to get back to it. But didn't look like he missed a beat. To be honest with you, he's been working hard in practice and in his own time and kind of doing the treatments necessary to stay on the course. And you saw it tonight.
Tim McMahon, ESPN.
Donovan, what significance do you take out of this stretch where you guys have won 20 of 22, whether it's maybe you've proven something as a team or strides that you've made?
I think, the biggest thing is what we see in ourselves. It's not so much proven to everybody else. I think the biggest thing is we're taking away how we win games. Yeah, we've won, it's like 16 games by double digits, but, some of those games, it's a 4-point game and then we blow it open. You look at a game like this is probably our first close game in a while, so I think there's just continue building blocks. Some of them happen to be through wins, and tonight was a loss. But I think for us, just understanding how we go about games. Our execution late game was great. The shot may not always go in late game, but tonight was good. It was a good sign to see how we can execute plays and draw up things and execute them on the floor. You look at other games, the way we respond, they're getting hit first, the way we hit first. There's so many different things that we've seen throughout this stretch. But as I said before, Tim, we're not here to, be satisfied with what happens today, tomorrow. We're getting ready for the long haul second half of the season and then playoffs, and we got to continue to be this team and not just be this team in the first half of the season.
Maxime, the free agent.
What did you miss in money time? You make 3 points, catch 3 points, but what do you miss exactly?
Sorry, I didn't hear that part. Sorry.
What do you miss in money time? Not from you, but from the team.
What do I miss as far as like? Oh, okay. I think the biggest thing, I give Royce his credit how he guarded Kawhi down the stretch. We got to get in there and help him out on the boards. Those 2 offensive boards were winning plays by Kawhi, and we got to get in there and help him. He played great defense to force a miss, and we got to be able to have his back. I think those were costly. About the 4:42 mark, I had gotten to the basket, before, and then I shot a 3, and they come down and hit a 3. That's a 7-point game, and then have to climb uphill from that. That was a bad shot selection on my part, but we did a good job of competing. So there's definitely little things that we can, look at it and try and fix. But all in all, it's not always going to be perfect. And I think the way we defended, the way we guarded, the way we went about the whole entire game, I think we can look back on this and, say, all right, this is what we need to do, but not hang our head because it wasn't a bad loss for us. I think we can learn a lot. I think there's a lot of things we can continue to do well.
All right, that's it. Thank you, Donovan.
Thank